So there's been talk that Biden wants to basically try and take away AR-15 type rifles and the so-called high capacity, or as a lot of people say, standard capacity magazines. Let's take a look at how effective government has been at regulating something that they have prohibited. Alcohol prohibition, how'd that do? Oh, right. Made things a whole lot worse, and allowed criminals to profit from it. So then they did away with that, and instead put a ban on drugs. And it's kind of funny how a lot of those drugs are used in modern medication. But we have all these criminal cartels making billions of dollars off of them. And when I was younger, like high school age, I could buy marijuana, and I could probably even get a hold of other drugs if I wanted to, but I couldn't get alcohol, and I couldn't get firearms or tobacco, because all that stuff was illegal. It's also worth noting how there's been a lot of stories and accusations about the CIA having some involvement in the drug trade. The more notable one being the plane crash in Mexico. The plane was linked to the CIA, like the number on it, I forget what it's called, and it had I think it's 4 tons worth of cocaine. So let's say they get their way and they go after AR-15s. Let's say they actually banned all guns. Do you really think that's going to make guns go away? It just means they're going to have more things to sell to criminal organizations and make another another thing they can profit off of, and a racket off of. Every time they make something illegal, it just makes that thing worse. It's like when they declare war on something, like the war on cancer. What happened? Cancer exploded. The war on drugs. What happened? Drugs exploded. I'm not saying I'm for people being able to go to the store and buy heroin like we go and buy beer or whiskey, but at least then it would be regulated and controlled, and only people who are of a certain age can get it, and so on and so forth. So wouldn't that be better with firearms? That only people who are allowed to have them and of a certain age can get them, not people who are, say, already not allowed to have them, or underage, or whatever else. So I can almost guarantee, if you make something illegal, it's not going to go away. It's just not going to be regulated like it currently is. I also want to add, is it really such a good idea that we allow politicians the power to make law? I mean, it's one of those kind of things we just sort of take for granted, but does anyone ever really think about that? And nowadays they come out with these phone book sized bills that people don't get to even read. And there's probably all kinds of corrupt things hidden somewhere in there. I think a society should establish laws kind of like how we have the Bill of Rights. It should be like a Bill of Laws as well, which we can all clearly see, and even have, a piece of paper that has all of them on it, rather than laws that go back hundreds of years that don't even apply anymore. They're just absolutely retarded. It's not like politicians are experts in these things. Oftentimes, they're as dumb on the matters, if not worse, than everyday people. You take Republicans and look at how their view is on, say, marijuana, or take the Democrats and their view on guns, and you can tell that neither side knows what they're talking about on those issues. But then you flip the tables, and generally speaking, the Democrats know a lot more about marijuana, and they sound logical about it. And the Republicans, they generally seem to know more about firearms, and they seem more logical about it. So I would say the people who actually know what they're talking about are the ones who should be making any kind of regulations, not just some emotional based bias, which seems to be what we have.